obviously smart business to have your business translated into 2 languages. I wonder, back in the day, is this what happened with Russian? 20, 30 years ago, was everything in Polish and Russian, like business signs? I wonder what goes on here. Well, we know of a few scandals with the royal family, that's for sure. But what do we have here? We have scandalous signature cuisine. I don't know if you can see that. No rules, no routine, just okay, effing delicious. Wow. Pretty intense place to come eat. Let's just keep moving on. Here I am walking around Krakow and I see English in the wild. Welcome to hell. I wonder what goes on there. Anyway, I'm fascinated by the use of English in the wild, meaning in public places, especially in places where English is not native to the people. So here I am, seeing this in the wild, as I've seen other kinds of English in the wild. And I want to ask the question, what does this mean to a non-native speaker? And what does it mean to a native speaker? How do you feel when you see this? How does it feel inside you? What are your reactions to Welcome to Hell?
I think it's about an anxiety.
Anxiety?
Yeah.
All right. So who would have done that, do you think? Like, what age group? Would it be a teenager? Would it be an older person? What do you think?
I think about people about 20.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Why? Why do you think so?
Because it's because of the time of the adolescence.
Ah, yeah.
And to make themselves their own personalities and to be in the riot.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's about that. I feel that.
Okay. So, do you think they chose English on purpose because it gives them some kind of power or energy or a different feeling than Polish?
Yeah, I feel so.
Oh, can you tell me what that would be?
I think it's about our Polish culture is really influenced by the American English culture, and I think some Polish people prefer to express the ideas in another language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To just strengthen, because they feel that it's more about the strength. For me, it's not like that, but I think it could be like this.
Okay.
Okay, and you're from
America, Pennsylvania.
America.
Hawaii and Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for letting me talk to you. I'm a little nervous sometimes. I don't want to bother people, but I'm really interested in this.
Okay. Good luck, and I hope that many people would like to
listen.
Talk
Yeah, thank you. I hope so too. If you see that, what are you thinking?
Definitely a sense of foreboding also.
Yeah.
This probably isn't very helpful for your study, but the first thing that comes to mind is Ratatouille. When
Really?
Yeah, because there's a part that is literally a quote from the movie where one of the chefs says to the main character, who has no idea how to cook it all, he's like, "Oh, welcome to hell, now recreate the soup you made yesterday," but it was like the rat that was controlling him the entire time.
No, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Now, welcome to hell. So yeah, definite sense of foreboding, and I don't know, the building itself looks a little bit dark to me, but maybe I'm just projecting because of what's written there. Yeah, aside from that, the welcome, the E is like a little bit lost.
Right.
Or like cut off. So maybe the person who wrote it was like, he felt like he was cut off from society or like the community here as a whole, and maybe that's why he wrote it. I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe written by a local who's really jaded with the city.
How old do you think the person would have been that would have done that?
Probably my age. I feel like, or not my age, but like teenager / young adult. Because I think I sort of associate graffiti with that age. I don't really feel like 50-year-olds will be climbing up to the top of that building and graffitiing it, you know.
Do you know this is as part of a song? Do you know of it in song?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Because that was mentioned to me that it might be also like a lyrics to something.
I think it's a pretty, not super commonly used phrase in English, but it is definitely a collar location. Like, welcome to hell.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right. Why do you think they are using English instead of Polish?
A lot of people who live in larger cities, in places where English is not natively spoken, they know that. And so in order to have the largest audience possible, they write it in English. I think there's definitely sort of a sense of performance to it. And the second reason I can think of is just sort of a reflection of what they see in the media. Like a lot of movies that, I mean, movies about America, movies related to America, that whenever they're showing a big city center, there's like oftentimes graffiti, you know? And so because they see that in forms of Western media, maybe it's sort of like a reflection of that.
Okay. I recorded this, and it's like really interesting to me because actually the English is all good. I mean, it's all good. Like oftentimes, you know, the English is like grammar is strange or something, but actually this is all good. But I'm just wondering why English here in this space, and does it make you feel anything different, or does it strike you, or what?
I find it a little bit confusing. I mean, because I imagine if you're native here, then you're kind of like, I mean, pretty much everyone knows English here now anyway. It's such a multicultural city. There's so many people come from abroad that either work here or live here now.
Right.
So I guess it's targeted for them because I guess you want to appeal to everyone.
Okay.
But maybe you block off some of the locals. Maybe, especially if you don't speak English, maybe. But I don't think that's very common unless you're maybe like a bit old school.
Okay.
But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, everyone everywhere here seems pretty like open and like. To be fair, Poland 10 years ago was a different place. This probably wouldn't have been here.
Right.
It probably would have been more centric to Polish people, and like it wasn't as much integration from foreigners coming in.
Right.
But I think now, just across a lot of platforms, English is just the domain language for everyone to communicate.
Okay.
So I think probably that's why it is. I mean, you know, you get English menus, and even if you're I saw Spanish people in the bar the other day. The bartender didn't speak Spanish, but the Spanish people spoke broken English, so that was a common thing. I don't know, it's just the way it is now, I think.
Right. Okay, well thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Because it's a language.
Because you're Belgian, from Czech, well living in Czech, and now you're here.
Yeah, so I think it's just a language that's making sure there's like unification, you know. If there is like English, then you know that you would be like understand and like everyone's kind of speaking the same language, and that's really nice, especially as an expert, you know. It feels like a nice safe language who normally a lot of people understand, so it just invites to explore the world a bit, I think.
Okay, all right, thank you guys so much, I appreciate it. Why are people using English like in public spaces, and especially like when I see graffiti on the walls, like in buildings, on the bottom of buildings.
I didn't notice actually that we have graffiti in English.
Yes, sometimes in some places I'm seeing it. But like here at this forum, I noticed all this spelling on the floor and how it all talks about kind of unity and peace and bringing people
this
together.
Is kind of a special place. I mean, like, this is really popular one, and there's a lot of foreigners here coming, and there is a lot of parties during Saturday and Sunday, and a lot of students, foreigners are coming here.
Oh, okay.
But after all, Krakow is rather like the city of the young people, and there is a lot of foreigners, there is a lot of international companies with a lot of people which are not Polish.
When I asked people, it was like I had noticed the graffiti, and I had noticed like some of it was like very romantic and very positive graffiti. Like, others of it was kind of like this is hell and life is hell and all of this other thing. So would you have any thoughts about that? Why people might choose to use English instead of Polish?
Maybe because of the social media and the music they are listening, they are watching, like all those that is available on the internet. Maybe those are some quotations. I have no idea. I haven't noticed actually. So maybe this is some kind of related to this one.
Okay.
Or maybe they just want to give some message to foreigners that's about their feelings. I have no idea. Where have you seen it?
I walk like wherever I walk all around Krakow, and I see it on the top of buildings. I see it on the where you can walk past, like when you're walking on the sidewalk. And it looks like there's gangs because there's similar things that repeat. And in the States, the same thing. The gangs always use the same kind of calligraphy. They use the same words over and over. And so it's like I'm used to spotting it because I've lived in a lot of big cities. So, but it's just unusual for me to be in a city where English isn't the native language, but then English is being used as part of like the expression. And so I'm curious, and I keep hearing like what you say that because I've interviewed a few people now, and there seems to be the same feeling that it's like kind of an amplification. Like it's like they want more people to hear them, see them.
I think so.
And it's like if you say it in English, then
it might be heard over and over. I mean, like if it's only in Polish and the foreigners who is coming here will say, okay, this is something local. If it's international, it might be something more important. Like last year, for example, we had a really difficult situation. There are a lot of strikes about the women's situation in Poland and abortion law. And I've also seen a lot of information in English. Even we had like on the sidewalks some quotations said, and it was amazing because that was the thing that we wanted to be heard by everyone, not because of the Polish woman and Polish government. We wanted to be supported by everyone. Yeah. So actually maybe this is also the reason.
The wider net.
Yes.
I cannot decipher that.
I'm not like an art person, so to me that's kind of vandalism. It's not pretty.
Okay.
If it's like graffiti that has like in quotation marks pretty like pictures.
Okay.
That's to me that's art, but something that's pretty much like scribbles.
It looks like anger issues.
It looks like anger issues and vandalism. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still art, kind of. Like every self-expression is art, in my opinion. I mean, even though it's kind of vulgar sometimes, it's still self-expression to me, at least.
I see people writing in English, like down the street. If you look up the building, it says, welcome to hell. And then, and then another place I've seen things like eat the rich and stuff like that. So why do you think they're choosing to write it in English?
because maybe because of the social media and because those statements are quite global. Eat the rich is like pretty global. Everyone knows that sentence actually, and that's why they're writing in English. Or maybe it's because there are so many immigrants here. Maybe, and so everyone can like know what that means. Because if they were to write in Polish, like nobody would know. Or at least
only
not
the Polish
speakers.
residents would
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys. That's just what I was trying to get information on. All right. Because I see stuff all over, and I'm very interested because this in Poland, other it's different than other places where I've taught, where I've seen graffiti and things on the walls, but I've never seen like Japanese and English, or Spanish and English. But here it's a little different. So, thank you so much. Recording now. Okay.
So I think, the point of art is to present your ideas to the world, to express yourself.
Right.
And I think that even when you're Polish, this is a city where a lot of different nationalities and cultures clashes. So I think to get your message across, you can use the other language, which when we use English, it's very universal. Like everybody that comes to Poland, that comes to Krakow, and is from anywhere in the world, could probably understand it. So your message is, I think, much more widespread than if you just wrote it in Polish. So if you have the opportunity, you can present it better. Also, I think there's some phrases, or some not only slang, but some specific phrases sound much better in English, or are just tied to English in some way. Like you can translate certain sentences, or they would lose the meaning. So I think that would be my answer.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'm really excited that you said art at the beginning, because this to me is what I see too, that English is being used as art. Like the graffiti, some of it's in English, some of it's in Polish, some of it's just, I think, scribbles. I don't even know if it but I do know, like, I've seen a lot of different tags all over Krakow, and there are repeating tags from probably different groups. But I really am interested in you using the word art. So can you tell me more about that?
Yes, of course. Well, we have like two groups. Some are just markings, people just wanted to leave the mark, or they grab a group mark, just to tag the area of walking. But a lot of graphics are actual art, form of expression, some abstract pieces that have a deeper meaning. And I know that because I'm an artist myself, so I know how art can really let you let off some steam and express your emotions. And presenting your emotions is, I believe, to be a very beautiful thing. And even some pieces of writing, like you said, "Welcome to Hell." It's just a sentence, but to me, it's still art. It means something. It expresses somebody's opinion, somebody's worldview. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your feedback. I couldn't have asked for better.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Just it's not just only about expressing my ideas, but like I pointed out, it's about letting off some steam. Because I know yesterday, not tomorrow. Yesterday I had a really bad day, and I just came home, picked up my guitar, and made a simple cover. It took me like half an hour for 30 seconds of cover, and I felt just incredible. And even today, I feel incredible because I did something that I liked, that people liked, and that people in some way could relate to. And we as humans have this strong urge to just relate to something, to be relatable, for people to relate to us. And when you make something, anything, and especially if that comes out your head, of your head, and somebody likes that. Somebody says, I agree, I see it as the same way, it's the same way. It just inspires. I think that's inspiring. So, like some pieces of graffiti could be named vandalism.
Right.
Some of them, of course.
Right.
But even when they're not entirely legal, some pieces, even simple, they're just art. If they come from the right place, that would be my definition. If art, any form of art, comes from a good place, it's art. And art is subjective. And my favorite quote when somebody argues about art, any kind of art, really, it is supposed to invoke emotions, not positive emotions. Emotions, strong emotions. The stronger emotions, the better. So if art is controversial, if it's even a lot of people say it's bad, it's reached its point. Its point to just invoke some emotions, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you later in class.
Yeah, on Friday?
Next, not this week. No, Friday is no class.
Yeah, I know this Friday is free.
Is free, but next week. Yes, next
Okay.
Friday. Okay.
See you
Thank
guys.
you again. All right.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. So if you've stayed with me this long with the video, thanks for that. I tried to ask a lot of questions to get some answers. And hopefully the answers will create more questions, which will create more answers, and people will be willing to take up the subject of why people use a second language, especially in this case English, as a way to express themselves outside their own language. I think the findings that are indisputable with all the people I've talked to is that they want to use English in order to amplify their voice so that more people hear them and more people will respond to what they have to say. Sometimes, however, it's just a cry. It's just a shout out. People just want to be heard and they don't really want any answers. They just want to be heard. And I think seeing the English in public places and spaces like I have, it's definitely made me think that that's a large part of the reason people are using the English, just to amplify their own scream, if you will. However, when it comes to people wanting social change, using English all over the world has been a tool to get people to listen and to hear. So, I invite you to explore this topic using English as a means of amplification, as a means of expressing emotion, to be able to be heard beyond your own words and language to a larger, wider audience. Thank you for watching and listening. Aloha.